Hi. I'm on my walk with my dog. I'm here in Boise, Idaho. It's so beautiful this time of year. The weather here is pretty much opposite of the way it was in both Alabama, which is humid and hot. This is a desert hot, and Minnesota, which is just everywhere. I wanted to do a brief video talking about what it feels like to be insane. And those of you who are, maybe in describing it, you might recognize yourself. And those of you who are on your way down, you might recognize it. And those of you who are out of it can be grateful you're not there anymore. For me, and for the people I've also worked with that are similar, what it feels like is nothing. Feels like nothing. Feels like there's absolutely nothing except for your obsession. And that obsession is everything. It's the only thing you see. It's the only thing you see. It's like I used to describe it in my own mind to myself that I felt like I was being pinned to the earth underneath a huge boulder. So you can't move, you can't see around it. So anytime you open your eyes, that's all you see. Anytime you're awake, that's all you're focused on. How to move it. Is there anything around it? You're thinking about the boulder. What does it look like? It's everything. It does, and every time you think that, you can't think of anything else but that. It's like it hijacks any and all freedom. But at the same time, there's this very intense belief that you need the boulder. So you have nothing. That's what it feels like. Nothing else. And yet, the thing that you need, that you believe your whole heart in, is also what you are hoping to relieve, you wish you did not have. It's one of the most excruciating, painful forms of suffering that goes beyond any physical pain. And I've had children, and I've been injured. And I'm telling you, the psychological suffering is undescribable. I mean, for those of you who want an eye into it, just consider what it would be like to feel as if committing suicide is better than what you have. That what it would take to pull the trigger is relieving. Consider what would it take to pull the trigger on your own head, to where that feels better than the life you're living. That's how bad it is. That's the type of suffering. That's the obsession of it. It's the most insane. It's just awful. I cannot describe it any other way than pure suffering, eating you up from the inside. And sometimes that's what you have to change, and to believe that something that you live so desperately attached to believe that it's worth letting go of, because otherwise you're stuck with the suffering. For me, I want you to think about too, those of you who have committed to an identity around religion. You believe in your religion wholeheartedly. You've devoted your spirituality to it. Your identity, your entire platform for how you see the world is based on it. I want you to think about what it would require for you to leave it. That would be really hard. That's what it feels like. It feels like you have no other exit. There's no other way around it, you know. For me, it was suicide or leaving my religion, leaving the doctrine, willingness to be rejected by my family, willingness to be scorned, mocked, and stoned by all of the people who I was raised by, a willingness to be alone. Even though in your in the psychological madness of your mind, you are really alone. It's just the illusion of being alone. And ultimately, don't you agree that's kind of like feeling like suicide? It's unbelievably hard to describe. And I completely understand why people commit suicide. I totally understand it. Because I've been there. And I am fortunate to say that I did not. I had an out of body, had near death, but I did not die. Some people don't believe that you could feel that way about a diet. That those feelings of suffering, judgment, shame, guilt, being defined by the way you look, that it is defining your spirit. Some people don't believe that that could cause suffering. Those of you out there who are recognizing yourself in this description, it's real. It is a full-on suffering. When you are there and you realize that, Tato, come here, that for you to end the suffering of obsessing over your body and a diet, obsessing over the diet and your body, when accepting obesity or accepting a body that's unhealthy sounds better, things will change for you. That boulder goes away. And you can get up. And you can start your life over again. But you know what? For some people, it requires the lowest of all low suffering. And there is a way out. So here's the good news. There is a way out. But you just have to recognize that your boulder that's pinning you to the ground might actually be your religion. The one thing you've dedicated your spiritual life to. The one thing that you would never have thought would create so much anguish, so much pain, that would take the freedom of life away from you. The one thing that you believe would give you freedom actually takes it away. There is hope. And I am living spiritual proof of that. Have a good day.